Hello everyone, and let's talk about the open letter that was issued on the Star Wars The Old Republic forums. It was done by Ben Irving, I don't know how you say it, who is the producer for Star Wars The Old Republic. Okay, he said he doesn't post in the forums often. Maybe his first ever post. That's sad. You need to come to the forums and post. You know, come on, Ben. His name's Ben. I just realized his name's Ben. Oh, did he kill Han Solo? Probably. No, that was Ben. Maybe he's Han Solo's son. Maybe same name as Han Solo's son there. That's not a good start. Anyway, let's get on with this. So it says, despite that, our whole team, myself included, tried to digest all of the internet for SWTOR information. Forums, Reddit, Facebook, YouTube, etc. Recently there have been questions and concerns around the quality of our releases and ongoing support for SWTOR. So this letter is addressing those concerns, okay? True. I mean, true. We certainly have been questioning the future of the game. I have been, personally, as well. I know a lot of other people out there have been questioning the future. I know I did the podcast with the guys at SWTOR Central. I did that, and we had quite a good discussion. I thought we had a really productive discussion. I'll put a link in the description to his channel if you want to check him out. You can check him out. SWTOR Central is a pretty cool channel, actually. But we did have a discussion a few weeks ago about whether SWTOR was dead or not. You know, and the future of the game, really. That was the discussion that we had on that. So, I mean, a lot of people have been having similar discussions. I've seen a lot of it on Reddit as well. A lot of it on the forums. There's always the doomsayers. SWTOR is dead. Run for the hills. SWTOR is dead. You always get that. Every couple of weeks, I think somebody will post a SWTOR is dead post on the forums, on the official forums. Fun read, actually, the official forums. But yeah, a lot of people been questioning the future, okay? So this letter is to address, and it's good. I'm glad that, you know, at least one of the producers is coming out and saying, you know, at least saying, addressing those issues, let's just say. Okay, he says, first off, I want to apologize for some of the issues that you've experienced in the last couple of months. That's good. I'm glad to see at least they're acknowledging it and at least they're apologizing because, well, I mean, the last patch was okay. Patch 4.3 was okay. I haven't done Chapter 12 yet. I've been busy. Leveling another character. I mean, I gotta do some PvP. Gotta get into some PvP. So I decided to level a brand new character from level 1 because it's the best way to get comms, is to just level via PvP. You can get a crap ton of free comms, basically. For leveling via PvP. So I haven't had the chance to play on my main character and do Chapter 12 yet. So hopefully I get the chance to do that at some point. So he says as well that the monthly chapter release schedule is new and comes with unexpected bugs. See, that's the thing, it is an issue, is releasing content every 4 weeks. You know, it does give you less time to fix bugs, because as soon as you get that content out, you then have to get the next content out. So it has caused problems for some of you. Not to say I'm sorry. At our core, the SWTOR team are all gamers like you. Emphasize the excitement of wanting to play a great game, only to be blocked by a problem, which is true. I mean, we want to do these story quests. There was a lot of issues, particularly Chapter 11 had the issues with Arik Jorgen that caused that blocked progression. Really, that was the biggest issue there. There was issues as well with the there was the energy shield, where you clicked on some of them and they wouldn't disappear, and then you couldn't click them again, and the only way you could get out of it was to either reload the instance or log out and log back in. Like traveling to your stronghold and traveling back could sometimes fix it, and there was other issues that were there. So they spend a lot of their energy trying to make SWTOR the best game possible. Please, please give us a 64-bit client and DirectX 11. That would make it a better game. We'd strive to make it a better game, or the best game possible. So bugs, other issues get in the way you play it. We take it to heart. Give us a better client, okay? Yeah, I mean, Chapter 12 apparently was better. There was no major bugs. really, but I haven't played it, so I can't really comment on that. So they talk about the future. It says, is SWTOR going to receive ongoing support? And the answer, he says, is absolutely yes. Okay. So they have things that are already announced. They do the monthly producer live stream, which I don't really cover anymore. I did sort of cover it for a bit, but yeah, it was kind of, there was not a lot in them. I don't really watch them that often now, but you know, it does talk about the launch of Fallen Empire, where you've got like the new Star Fortress, the chapters, well, the companion recruitment mission. It does say an interesting thing. 30 flashpoints upgraded to be challenging again, which is true. Challenging, I'll give them that. Relevant? No, they're not relevant. That's the problem with them. It's not that they're not challenging. It's that there's no point in doing them. Okay? 50 operation bosses upgraded to be challenging again. Again, we'll take issue with that. We could actually pick these numbers apart if we wanted to. 50 ops bosses are challenging? No. We'll cut it down to 40. In fact, we'll cut it down... Yeah, we'll cut it down to 40. We'll take EV and KP out of that, because they ain't challenging. If we took all the story mode bosses out as well, take all of them out, because none of them are challenging. Underlurker ain't a challenge anymore, really. Sword Squadron, not really. So none of the bosses in story mode are challenging anymore. I don't know if that does that include the different modes. Not really. I think 5, but I can't be arse working that out. It might, yeah, I think that is just 50 bosses. EVKPHM, nah, they're not challenging. Scum and Villainy, all but one of the bosses is challenging. Okay, Styrak is a challenge, but the rest of them are pretty easy. Cartel Warlords, maybe. But, you know, 1 out of, what, 7 is challenging in that one. TFB, 2 of them are challenging, you would argue. 2 of those bosses are a bit of a challenge, I would say. Operator 9 still causes wipes. It still causes wipes. And the final boss, the Terror from Beyond, is still a challenge. EC, we have the second boss, the tanks. They're quite challenging. Firebrand... You know, not Kaleo Firebrand, the proper Firebrand tank, and Stormcaller, which I guess what Vet might be called. I'm guessing maybe Vet's going to be called that in Chapter 13. Let's call Vet Stormcaller, because it's Vet and Galt are the 2 people that are in that one. Let's call her Stormcaller, because, and we'll call Galt Toth. Okay, if we're naming them after EC bosses, then we'll call them that. So yeah, I mean, apart from... Firebrand and Stormcaller and Kephis, Warlord Kephis. That's the only 2 bosses that are really challenging, I would say, in EC. The other 2 are not so bad. The Minefield is fun. I like the Minefield. That's pretty fun. And the first boss isn't really a huge challenge anymore. It used to be back in the day, but we've got so much movement now that it's not really that challenging. You know, we can move around a lot, especially as melee. Especially as a Vanguard. It's really fun as a Vanguard, that fight. Zorn and Toth is a fun fight. What else have we got? Dread Fortress, Corruptor Zero, and Brontes are the only 2 challenging bosses there, really. The rest are not that hard in HM. Dread Palace, you could argue Raptus and the Dread Council, the only 2 real challenging bosses in that. We've taken this literally, haven't we? 50 operation bosses upgrade to be challenging. Ravagers, all with the exception of the first boss, are challenging. The Sparky ain't too bad. And the same for TOS. Malafar the Savage ain't too challenging, but the rest of them, pretty challenging there. So there you go. Also you got Golden Fury, which is kind of, I never really do, and the Monolith as well. That counts as a raid boss. They both count as raid bosses, so you've got them at least as as challenging bosses. They're still hard, that boss. Apparently, I've never done Golden Fury though. Apparently, it's tough. Hard mode Golden Fury is pretty tough since the expansion launched. Right. So what else does he say? kicked off their monthly the monthly release cadence of chapters. Chapter 16 is the story finale. So they've built great supporting content. Recruitment missions have been added. That's true. Recruit favorite companions. The Odessan Proving Ground Warzone that came out with the last patch. Rishi Cove Arena, did that come out? I've never had it in a PvP. I always get Odessan Proving Grounds though. I don't like it. I still don't like it. It's too big. It's still too big. I still think, in my opinion, it's too big. Although I'm getting better at it though. I'm getting better. Finally learned to capture things. Capturing things is fun, instead of just focusing on murdering marauders. But I've never done Rishi Cove Arena. I don't know if that's out yet. The Eternal Championship is coming on May the 5th. That's coming. That's the... is it May? Yeah, it's May 5th. Why is it not May 4th? Put it out May 4th. That's the Star Wars Day. You know, so it's coming May 5th with Chapter 13 as well. So there's more content following a major expansion than we've ever released. It's true. It is true. That is more than they've ever released. However, you know, is the features that they're working on. I see that they're coming out with the weapon things. It's like I don't know what they're called. I'm calling them weapon flourishes. I guess they're called weapon tunings. It's basically like a sort of effect on the weapon. It's got like a lightning effect. Was the example that they showed. It's going to go on any weapon type, so blaster rifles, assault cannons, lightsabers, whatever, you're going to get them on the weapon. It's just another modification that's being added. It is going to be cartel market, but I imagine they'll give them away fairly. They'll give them away, I imagine, with the new pack that's coming out on May 5th. So I imagine, hopefully they're not too rare things, so that you can get them on the GTN, people can buy them, and then... you know, that would be nice. It's a nice little cosmetic thing, I suppose. I when I first saw it, I thought, oh my god, we're going to get to pick our weapons, or we're going to have weapon transmog. I really want weapon transmog. Like, I really, really want weapon transmog, okay? I want that. Why can't a bounty hunter use a rifle? I mean, okay, for the power tech, it makes sense. We could just use the Vanguard animations. And I think, you know, there's already rifle animations for power tech abilities because the Vanguard uses it. So why can't we just use the Vanguard animation? Why can't they just replace Rocket Punch with Stock Strike kind of thing? Just change the animation. That's all you have to do. It does the same thing. Functionally, it's the same. So what they've said is that they are working on new content. They've started Season 2. Knights of the Fallen Empire, or at least it's being written, at least. What does it say here? They've done some voice. They're doing the VO studio, which I think is in Canada, isn't it? Their voice recording studio. It's in Montreal, I think they're based. BioWare. I'm pretty sure they are. I know they're a Canadian company. BioWare originally, although this is developed by BioWare Austin, certainly SWTOR is, but they are doing Knights of the Fallen Empire. They said Knights of the Fallen Empire is their most successful expansion they've ever produced. I disagree with that. I think Rise of the Hutt Cartel was better overall. 2.0, the 2 sort of series was probably the best that the game has been, because you got Hutt Cartel launched with one new raid in Scum and Villainy. TFB was upscaled. Okay, so TFB was available at level 50, upscaled to 55. So you had Scum and Villainy. This was the new raid, which was the biggest raid that they had produced. 7 bosses. Too long, in my opinion. It's not... The thing that made Scum and Villainy too long, if you ask me, was Olok the Shadow. Far too long a boss fight. It was quite a fatiguing fight, really, that one. And the trash, was too much trash in Scum and Villainy. But other than that, 7 boss raid was pretty good. Then, you know, a couple of months later, we had Nightmare Scum and Villainy and Nightmare TFB got added. And then, I think about a month after that, Zerka got added. Tactical Flashpoints came in. And the 2 new Zerka Flashpoints. The Zerka Daily area, which was alright, I suppose, had a little bit of story to it. And then you had 2.4, which was Oricon, which added Dread Fortress and Dread Palace. 6 months after we got Scum and Villainy, we then got Tier 2 with Dread Fortress and Dread Palace. That was right. That was fine. I thought that was okay. Actually, 6 months later, after we got the previous raid, we got 2 new raids. 10 bosses, 5 bosses per raid. And that was okay. Then we kind of went off on a bit of a tangent. We had Starfighter and Forced Alliances. And then a year later, after 2.4, we had Shadow of Revan, which brings us to about what, 10 months Shadow of Revan lasted, and then we had Knights of the Fallen Empire. Shadow of Revan was the worst the expansion by far, really. But I would say Hut Cartel is probably the best. Had the best release cadence, I think, of them. Instead of these small bite-sized chapters, Hut Cartel gave you more significant updates over a longer period of time, admittedly, but I preferred that. I'd rather get, have meaty content that you can get into. Dread Fortress and Dread Palace lasted a long time. Zerka CZ198, that lasted quite a while because, again, it was a nice daily area, whereas the story, once you've done it, you're kind of like, and you do maybe the alert after it, and it's like, oh, okay, I've done my alert, I've done my quest, what's it called, my story quest, and then what do I do now? At least with Zerka, you had the 2 flashpoints to do, and they were quite tough at the time in hard mode. You did them in tactical, you did them in hard mode, and then you grinded the dailies. There was reputation items that you could get as well for dailies. You got the, the 162 main hand as well. You could grind the reputation. It had a reputation requirement, and it had a lot of elite comms at the time requirements, so there was a good reason to go back and do 2.3. that was Titans of Industry, it was called. So you had a good reason at least to go back and do it, and that's, I think, what's missing in this expansion. Is I don't want to go and do it again on another alt because it's the same story. It's the exact same thing that's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. I like the grindier element of the game. I mean, as long as it's not too grindy, really. That is the big thing, is you don't want too much grind. You want some grind, but not overly grindy. I thought CZ198 Oricon had it pretty much right in terms of grind. Right, so he also moves on to say, SWTOR is a huge success. He says, in the eyes of our partners, SWTOR is a huge success. And that is true. Okay, a lot of people think this game is a failure, but I've seen, we saw data that was released, independent data that was released in February of this year, February 2016, which shows the top 5 grossing MMOs. SWTOR was 4th. That's good. That is good. We were behind the likes of World of Warcraft, number 1. You're not really going to get away from that. It's number 1. Lineage was 2nd, and I believe Terra was 3rd. 2 games that are quite big in Korea, Lineage and Terra, and the Koreans love their MMOs, really. It's pity we don't have Asia Pacific servers anymore, because the Korean market and the Chinese market, quite a huge market for MMOs, and Star Wars. Star Wars is big all over the world, I would assume, so I'd imagine, it's kind of sad that they don't have Asia Pacific servers for the Australians as well. Again, Australia is a big market. WoW recently added Australian servers with Warlords of Draenor. I think prior to that's launch, they added Australian servers, so, the Australians, feel sorry for them. They got to play on the West Coast servers, at least, probably off-peak times as well, so if you're an Australian, kind of sucks. So they've said that BioWare supports the game, EA supports the game, it's making money, so EA will support it. Lucasfilm supports the game, and Disney supports the game. Okay, and the game has been around for, 4 and a bit years, nearly 5 years. They've said they've received an incredible amount of support from our partners. It's both amazing and humbling. Well, they are working with the largest brand in entertainment. Star Wars is, look at the success of Episode 7. It broke all the box office records when it came out, and I guess it must have topped the sales for Blu-ray and DVD. I bought it. I got it on Blu-ray. It was pretty good. I watched it again recently, and pretty cool. It was cool watching it again. There was a few things that you missed from the movie. You don't realize that until you're watching it again on Blu-ray, and you can kind of pause and rewind things and go, "Oh, I missed that. I missed a few things." From episode 7. You kind of get those little things, those little tidbits that you missed. What I would have loved to have seen was every single DVD, every single Blu-ray. When you opened it up, it came with, just put a little leaflet in it that says, play Star Wars The Old Republic. Wouldn't have cost a huge amount of money. Have one side, Star Wars The Old Republic, the other side, Star Wars Battlefront. Just promote the game, really. Or have, if you buy the Blu-ray or DVD, have a little code that gives you something for free in Star Wars The Old Republic. Say you get a free, I don't know, mount. What about the mount that Rey had, you know, when she's picking her scrap, they're doing her little scrap hunting on Jakku. What about that mount? Put that mount in the game. You know, it's not going to be, it's not lore breaking or canon breaking or whatever you want to call it, because it's just a mount, really. It's not as if you're going to get Kylo Ren's lightsaber or Kylo Ren's outfit. You know, just dye Revan's outfit black, and you pretty much got it. Really, you've pretty much Kylo Ren's outfit. And I think there's one of the masks, I can't remember what it is, that does look, it changed the mask, obviously. I can't remember what the mask is called. It looks a little bit like Kylo Ren's. But you change one of the masks and dye Revan's outfit black. I think it's Revan's original, not Revan Reborn's outfit, the original Revan outfit in the game. You just dye it black. I think there's another one that you can modify as well that looks a bit like Kylo Ren, but I don't know. I mean, I've never really, I never wanted to make my character look like Kylo Ren, to be honest with you. He is a badass, and then he takes his helmet off, and it's like, oh, this guy, I could take him. It's like, geez, is he supposed to be a badass? He's not a Sith, he's a Knight of Ren, he is, but, you know, he's like, this guy's supposed to be a badass replacement for Darth Vader. It's like, I could take him in a fight. Like, seriously, I could take him. Why didn't, you know, I wonder why didn't Han Solo just use Dirty Kick? He's a scoundrel. Dirty Kick him. You don't lose a fight to, what was he, I guess we'll call him a Juggernaut, I guess, maybe, or maybe a Sorcerer. What do you think? Classy he was. Maybe a Shadow or an Assassin, because he kind of stabs him. You know, a bit unfair, a bit of a cheap shot there, but it's like Scoundrel versus Assassin. Who can take the most cheap shots? Maybe that's it. Maybe he's an assassin, because like half Scoundrel, half sort of Jedi Knight type Force user, or Sith Warrior type Force user. Maybe we need that as a class in SWTOR. Maybe that would be a good idea. Anyway, we are rambling for 23 minutes. We've been rambling. It's kind of gonna be it. So they said they're committed to providing the best experience possible. The game continues to thrive, and it is thriving. Okay, and it's thank you for playing Star Wars The Old Republic. But it would have been nice to have seen, you know, we're gonna do raid content soon, at least a time scale. I mean, he said that they can't give details. So what I would have liked to have seen was not a concrete release date, but a targeted release for more group content. The Eternal Championship does offer an opportunity to do group content on the cheap. You know, you could just add a Flashpoint version of the Eternal Championship. You could even add a raid version of the Eternal Championship where, you know, you could just put, you know, just get a different mob in the same area. You know, because all you have to do is design the enemies, design the encounter mechanics, tweak some of the encounter mechanics that are already there to take into account groups, because some of them are quite interesting. So, you know, the Eternal Championship does offer up opportunities, at least, for raids, at least. Where do I think the story will go? I think we'll probably end up deposing Arkan, but we won't stop Valen. I think Valen's the real enemy in terms of the story here. That's my opinion on it, really. I think, well, maybe either Valen betrays Arkan and ends up ruling the Eternal Empire. The Eternal Empire, the Immortal Empire, whatever the hell it's called. Or she leaves Arkan at the mercy of us. We either kill him, Or I guess we could put him in Carbonite, I guess would be the light side choice. Bit ironic that he put us in Carbonite. It'd be the ironic ending, really. Either we kill Arkan, or we encase him in Carbonite, and Valen escapes, and then obviously maybe she takes the Eternal Fleet with her, and then she comes back. Maybe we liberate Zakul, and Valen, I think, is the real threat. So Season 2, that's my opinion, that I think Valen is who will fight in Season 2. Essentially, because I think Arkan is going to get toppled one way or another. Either we'll topple Arkan, liberate Zakul, or Valen will topple Arkan and end up ruling the Eternal Empire, and then we'll have another season. Hopefully it's not that one. Hopefully it's the one where we actually kind of defeat Valen and she retreats away and then, you know, comes back stronger. So we get the chance to at least have not the same story repeated in Season 2. Hopefully that's kind of what we do. But anyway, we've rabbited on for a while now, and that is all for this video, so thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.